Hello, I'm back again with more sublimation printing experiments, and once again, just as a reminder, it doesn't matter what your original art is, but this is what I'm working on. These are plexiglass pieces. Some are representational, some like this one are abstract. As you know, we learn from our failures. So I've failed many times in these experiments. This is an attempt at printing on the plexiglass. The print itself comes out good, but it's all bent and everything, and a lot of that is because of my trying to straighten it back out with things like a blowtorch or heating it back up. And here's a photograph I tried printing on the plexiglass. It printed okay. On the back side I painted it white, but you can see that it's all bent, warped, and maybe you can tell there are some deformations in the front of it where I tried to heat it back up again with various things. On the previous video I had been just showing you how to do one of the prints on a piece of the prepared aluminum plate. So that's what this is, and then I've applied it to an unheated piece of plexiglass just to get a more interesting border. But I'm not really satisfied with that because you see the edge of the metal here. So what I want is print directly onto the plexiglass. So here is a fairly successful one. I started with a piece of plexiglass larger than the image, printed by sublimating this image onto the back. When I took it out of the press, it was warped and there was paper on it, so I put it in water and rubbed the paper off with my hand, then spray painted it on the back and taped off this area so I would have the clear border around the side. But it was also warped, so on this one I finally have figured out a way to get rid of some of the warpage. It's still, you can see, just very slightly warped, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that, but at least it's a lot flatter than many of them were previously. So what I'm going to do today is print this piece. This is, remember, the special sublimation ink paper. So this is one of my pieces, which I'm going to put on a piece of plexiglass like this. This is 1/4 inch, and we'll cut it on my bandsaw back there so that it's slightly bigger than this piece. And I want to point out that in airports in particular, you might see images like in the Cincinnati airport. There are local shots of Cincinnati, and they're printed on plexiglass using this same method, but the plexiglass is about 3/4 of an inch thick, or at least a 1/2 inch thick. That's thick enough that the heat process will not warp it, and that's why they look really great. But that stuff costs a fortune, and I'm trying to use this 1/4 inch plexiglass that I get at Lowe's or Home Depot. So that's what we're going to be doing. Alright, this is my piece of plexiglass cut, and I'm going to peel away the protective coating on each side. I'm going to lay this down so that just the static will hold it on there, by the way. But we want that clear border around the edges. And I can sand and trim that away. Later I could cut it all the way down to the edge if I want to, but there it is, laid on there. Ordinarily, I would use some of this heat foil, heat tape to tape it in place, but the static electricity itself is going to hold this, so you really don't need to do that. My press is over there heating up right now, so it'll be ready to go in a second. And we will sublimate it. All right, so my press is heated to 360 degrees. Here's the image. I'm going to lay it down on the foam pad covered with a sheet of paper. And we're going to cover that with the Teflon sheet that keeps it from sticking. Now, in the metal press, you're only heating this and pressuring it for 1 minute and 8 seconds or so. I'm going to set my timer for 2 minutes and 50 seconds. All right, now when it comes out of there, I'll turn this off in a minute, but when it comes out of there, it's going to be very flexible, and it's also going to be very hot. So I keep these 2 towels here that I'm going to handle it with, and I'm going to bend it and try to keep it as straight as possible. I also will lay it down on a flat surface, which is my printing press bed, and push it down to try to straighten it out as much as I can. Well, I did a pretty good job with the press, but I screwed up the camera so you didn't get to see it come out of there. But here's the way it is when it is bent while it's still flexible. It's cooled now, so it's not. I was also going to try to pull the paper off of there quickly, and I, let it go too long trying to get the camera going. You can see the image there is firmly sublimated into the plexiglass. So if I turn it over, that's what it looks like on the shiny side. And it's pretty straight. I just, flex it until I kept it in a straight position. So there, I'm gonna put it down on a piece of white paper, which will show you what it'll look like when you paint the back of it white. So there's what the finished image would be like. A nice piece of plexiglass. With a totally new image, so I can show you how one bends the piece of plexiglass when it comes out of there. All right, in a few seconds I'm going to open this up and pull it out while it's hot and start peeling the image away quickly, and then I'll try to hold it right here and bend it into place so you can see what we're doing. All right, first we pull the swing arm away, take away the piece of heat resistant material. Now I'm going to slip my click knife under this image and see if I can start pulling it away. As much as I can. You don't want to damage the image, and you've got to work while the plexiglass is flexible. Alright, we'll peel that away later. But here we're going to start flexing this plexi. You can see how bent it is. So I'm going to try to straighten it out, going with all sides. The other thing you can do is try to press it back down onto a flat surface. So the pressed bed is not hot. It's just the top of the machine that's hot. That beeping goes on the whole time the heating element has reached its temperature of 360. Still flexing, but I'm going to stop that pretty soon now, and you can see that it's relatively straight. So here are my 2 plexiglass sublimated images, and I've got the paper off the back of both of them. The most important thing is to get them straightened out as soon as they come out of the press. Then you can take your time getting the paper off. And if you can't get it off by pulling it with the aid of the click knife, being careful not to scratch, you can put it in water and rub it with your fingers until the paper beads up and pulls away. The next thing I'm going to do is try to treat the edges in a way, and I'll show you what I do for that. Okay, I've sanded this piece with this belt sander along the edges, and you will see that there are little pieces of plastic sticking up here, so I'm going to try to pull all those away. The edge is still rough, but it's sanded in just one direction here instead of the up and down motion of the belt of the bandsaw. And then we'll do the next step in a minute as soon as I get this cleaned up. The very next step is to use your click knife. I buy these by the hundreds and try to get all this plastic away. What I do is always pull toward me. Don't push away, because if you push away from your body, you're likely to get it caught and create a gouge in your plastic. Anywhere I can see these white edges, that's a roughness created by the bandsaw and even by the sander. I'm scraping it down with my click knife until it gets as clear as possible, looking like the clarity of the plexiglass itself. So it takes a little patience, but you have to do that all the way around. Time for a new click knife. Here's a whole jar full of them. By the way, you can get these at Harbor Freight. Up at the checkout, they have them in boxes. Just grab a handful of them. My next step is going to be to blowtorch the edges, which is what I've done with this one. In this one, I beveled it first, then scraped it, and then hit the edges with a blowtorch. It gives you a nice, smooth edge. Now, you don't want to overdo this. It's very tempting to get carried away. You'll see it start to smooth out like a piece of glass. Then pull the torch away. You also don't want to catch it on fire. And here's another thing, you can probably tell that it's kind of foggy there. I'm going to hit that edge. That's from the imprint of the Teflon. I'm going to hit that edge and try to smooth that out. Clarifies it a bit. Now it's beginning to curl on me. So I may end up putting it back in the press, but I think I'll hit it from the other side and see if that doesn't straighten it back out. With that, it's warped a little bit, but I pushed on it and bit it back in. Nice clean edges.